Hey guys, in today's video we will be talking about Ida, which has rapidly weakened ever since it made landfall yesterday, around noontime yesterday, and it has brought just truly devastating and just heartbreaking impacts to southeastern Louisiana. Um, we're gonna really be diving in to show you guys what Ida's done to southeastern Louisiana. It is truly heartbreaking. Just quickly first, just want to say that my heart goes out to everyone who has lost loved ones and lost friends down in southeastern Louisiana. People who homes have been destroyed, flooded out, people who are still alive but stuck in their on top of their roofs or in their attics of their homes because their houses are flooded. Just I feel so bad for you guys. Really, really, I really hate to see that. It's just truly devastating to see. So I'm going to be showing you guys some pictures and yeah, so those some stuff from what Ida's damage has been so far, especially from yesterday when it made landfall and as it was slowly moving inland through Louisiana. We do have Tropical Storm Kate. It hasn't been updated yet, but at the 11 a.m. advisory that should come out within the half hour, it should be updated to show Tropical Storm Kate. It's now at 45 miles per hour and its pressure's down to around 1,003 millibars. We have this Julian did form. It dissipated quickly though, right, pretty soon after it formed yesterday. So now we're on to the K name here after Tropical Depression 10. Now it's become Tropical Storm Kate. This new disturbance off of Africa has a medium to high chance of development. It's about to come off Africa. Will likely form within the next day or two. We're going over these three real quick before we dive into more of Ida's impacts. But it says tropical depression likely to form by the middle of or latter part of the week while the system moves west-northwestward at 10 to 50 miles per hour over the eastern tropical Atlantic. We do have another disturbance down in the Caribbean that looks like it will become favorable for development by the end of the week, and as long as the system remains over water, which I guess it will, showing this area of potential formation for it. The system is expected to move gradually west-northwestward or northwestward at 5 to 10 miles per hour over the western Caribbean Sea, close to the east coast of Central America. So we'll see what happens. It's still very warm. The water's still very warm. There's still some pretty deep ocean heat content in the Western Caribbean, especially the Northwestern Caribbean. So we'll see what happens with that system once it starts to form later this week, and once we really start to track it going into this weekend, towards the end of this week and into the following week. We'll start tracking this system, and it'll likely become the next name on the list, which would be the L name Larry, within the next day or two. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Now Ida has rapidly weakened. Currently, it's at 45 miles per hour, 993 millibars. So it's really slowly weakened, kind of. But still, it did weaken from a strong Category 4 hurricane and landfall yesterday down to now a pretty weak tropical storm now. But yeah, it's moving north at only 8 miles per hour, so it's moving very slow. That's the key thing about this storm. It's bringing lots of heavy rain over the same area still, bringing the flash flooding still to just awful, just awful amounts and whatnot. Storm surge is still a threat, even in southeastern Louisiana still. Lake Pontchartrain, 4 to 6 inches down through into the kind of the bowl here in southeastern Louisiana, Mississippi's coastline, 4 to 6 feet, even extending into Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Maurepas. So that's really not good. 1 to 3 feet, 2 to 4 feet on the very southeastern coastline of Louisiana there along the Gulf. 3 to 5 feet of storm surge there for the eastern part of Mississippi into Alabama, into Mobile Bay as well, including that. 1 to 3 feet of storm surge there for the very western part of the Florida Panhandle, including Pensacola Bay, 1 to 3 feet. Rainfall totals. Still expecting some rainfall to occur in New Orleans. Heavier rainfall, though, as you get towards Mississippi, Alabama, extending all the way up through most of Mississippi and all of Alabama, even into Tennessee. You can see even the northeast Mid-Atlantic and portions of southern New England will also see some heavier rain from the remnants of the system as we head towards the middle of the week. So that's going to be something we'll also have to track and see how bad that gets. So flash flooding potential, actually, it's important to show you here. Still New Orleans under moderate risk of flash flooding. So yeah, again, still, even though the actual rainfall is not too bad, to be honest, the storm surge is still definitely something we need to pay attention to, especially since multiple levees have broken in the city, and New Orleans' National Weather Service had to end their reportings and switch over, give the National Weather Service in Lake Charles full responsibility for New Orleans because apparently a levee broke near the downtown New Orleans area, so we shall see what happens. But again, the moderate risk extends all the way up through very central and eastern Mississippi, very western Alabama, including Mobile. Jackson's right on the line of the slight moderate risk, so it will likely see some flooding. And then, of course, moderate risk, again, a separate area, extends from Tennessee, very northern Georgia, up through the interior Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and into New Jersey, and including New York City. Slight risk extends into Connecticut. That includes Hartford and Rhode Island, very southeastern portions of Massachusetts, including portions of the Cape. So flash flooding does look to be a real threat here as we head into, particularly for the Northeast, it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, but again, for the Gulf Coast still, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama still today, into even tomorrow. Well, really mainly today, but then tomorrow it'll extend farther north into Tennessee and those areas up here, and then by again Wednesday, Thursday, it will really extend all the way into the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and Southern New England states. So flash flooding, again, is a real threat here. So, yeah, this is not looking good. The cone forecast, again, for Ida is likely going to weaken to a tropical depression very soon, probably, honestly, by the next advisory. And then it'll become a post-tropical depression, bringing heavier rain through the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, New England. So, yeah, this is not looking good at all. This is going to have very, very wide-reaching effects from not just the Gulf Coast, again, all the way inland into the deep south and all the way into the Tennessee Valley, all those areas, into the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and again, southern New England as we head into the mid to latter part of the week. So this is a really, really dangerous, bad system. Now let's look at some of the effects Ida has brought to particularly Louisiana, Mississippi, and those areas as it made landfall and brought devastating impacts to those areas as it made landfall and continued to move slowly inland as it was weakening in Louisiana, Mississippi. Residents in Jefferson Parish told to make plans to stay somewhere else. Again, because of the threat of Ida and the damage it will cause. The Entergy will begin to assess power line damage today, so well, that's a good thing. The energy system, the energy system for New Orleans, those guys will start to come out and go and assess the power line damage in New Orleans and those areas today, in a lot of those parishes. So yeah, that's really bad stuff. Widespread power outages in Mississippi, obviously. People trapped in attics after levee overtops in Lower Jefferson Parish. Yeah, again, as I said, multiple levees were overtopped. Some were even broken in some of the parishes surrounding New Orleans. Thankfully, the New Orleans levee doesn't seem like it really fully broke, but it might have been overtopped, so that's definitely a huge concern even still. Levee fails in Plaquemines Parish. Yeah, that, again, as I said, 911 knocked out in 2 parishes. Oh, okay, yeah. Emergency services were knocked out in Orleans and St. Charles parishes, meaning people there could not call 911. Yeah, so again, that's another big problem that Ida had caused with all the flooding and wind damage and whatnot, that emergency services just couldn't end up just being knocked out and were not able to answer calls for help. So this is just truly devastating. Damaged hospitals to evacuate patients. Yeah, there was a Hospital, dozens of patients at 2 Louisiana hospitals were being evacuated after the hospitals were heavily damaged by Ida. The damage happened at St. Anne Hospital in Raceland, Louisiana, and Leonard J. Chambert Medical Center in Houma, Louisiana. Houma, Louisiana actually was really badly hit. Death confirmed, we have one death associated with Ida, one direct death associated with Ida from Ascension Parish, Louisiana. So there's that. Water entering homes in Laplace, Louisiana. Laplace, Louisiana definitely was the hardest hit of all of the parishes, those areas around New Orleans. As Ida moved in, we had lots of flooding and storm surge flooding in Laplace. It was terrible. Power knocked out to all of New Orleans. Again, New Orleans is completely in the dark. No one has power in New Orleans. More than 1 million homes and businesses were without power in Louisiana as of about 4 a.m. Central Time, according to poweroutage.us. So it's really bad stuff. And as well here, Entergy. Due to catastrophic transmission damage, all of Orleans Parish is currently without power. More information will be shared when available. And honestly, the New Orleans Parish, those areas completely without power in New Orleans, they'll likely stay without power for a very long time, which is another huge concern because actually as well, after the storm has moved out, the temperatures in those areas will start to heat up again. We'll start to see a lot of potential extreme heat with temperatures approaching the upper 80s to around 90, feeling like the mid to upper 90s. So that's really going to be bad for people without power, that don't have AC and don't have really anything to fend themselves off of the extreme heat. So that's going to be really bad. Jefferson Parish quickly lost water pressure. So people in Jefferson Parish, they don't have water. They don't have water to use. So that is also a bad, huge concern, and just terrible. Barges knocked loose on Mississippi River. We had 20 barges that were knocked from their moorings on the Mississippi River in St. Bernard Parish. That NewOrleansLouisiana.com reported. The U.S. Coast Guard was notified, but there was little they could do, obviously, because of the fact that the barges were knocked loose. They're very heavy boats, obviously, being pushed by the strong storm surge from all the strong winds. It wasn't immediately clear when the barges broke loose or where they were. The incident happened in the same part of the river where a passenger ferry had earlier broken away, yes. Newsroom evacuated after parts of roof ripped off. So the newsroom in New Orleans, WGNO TV, the newsroom's roof was knocked off, so they all had to evacuate during a live television coverage, actually. So that's really bad. Portions of Interstate 10 or Interstate 12 closed in Louisiana because of the fact that there have been debris and power lines blocking the roads across southern Louisiana, especially Sunday night, last night. That include portions of I-10 and I-12. So, it's, again, devastating. Widespread damage reported in Lafourche Parish. You see these pictures here, just devastated. Houses completely, roofs knocked off, ripped apart. Flooded out. It's just terrible. Ventilators knocked out when hospital lost power. Yes, that also did occur. Doctors and nurses scrambled to keep patients breathing as they were moved to another area after a generator failed in an intensive care unit. The incident happened at I'm going to try and pronounce this, Thibodeau Regional Hospital in Lafourche Parish. That's really bad. Devastating damage in southeastern Louisiana, of course. In general, southeastern Louisiana has sustained tons of devastating damage in many areas. Here's a video of it. Terrible. Deputies trying to reach people after roofs are ripped off of homes. Again. Rescues could take up to 72 hours, could take up to 3 days, or 3 or more days. So, this is really bad stuff there. It's just terrible. Catastrophic situation in Grand Isle. Grand Isle was literally just to the east or so from where the eye made landfall in Port Fourchon, Louisiana. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So Grand Isle got into the eye walls of Ida because Ida started to create a double, even eventually triple eye walls as it started merging eye walls eventually, which was truly devastating. Reports trickled out of Grand Isle detailing the disastrous conditions there, where the only road out is reported to be under 6 feet of water, and emergency services buildings are flooded. So yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, roofs being peeled off of buildings. Flooding is catastrophic. We're in bad, dire shape there. Yeah. A wind gauge actually in a police station there in Grand Isle measured a wind gust of 148 miles per hour, and then the gauge broke after that. Things are coming apart all around us. Yeah, truly. The highest wind gust actually reported from Ida, where it made landfall, was right there in Port Fourchon, I believe, where it measured 172 mile per hour gusts, sustained winds of 149 miles per hour, which could mean that Ida honestly was potentially a bit stronger at landfall, might have been even close to a Category 5 at landfall. Recon did actually end up finding some wind speeds and pressures to support that. Yeah, they did actually end up finding multiple unflagged wind readings of Category 5 intensity, which is interesting there. So we'll see what happens in a post-analysis for this storm as well. That'll be very interesting post-analysis for this system. Ida makes landfall in southeastern Louisiana. Obviously, it made landfall at 11:55 a.m. or 12:55 p.m. Eastern Time near Port Fourchon, Louisiana, about 18 miles southwest of Grand Isle and about 60 miles south of New Orleans. Maximum sustained winds were 150 miles per hour, making Ida high in Category 4. Again, it could have been a little higher sustained than that, potentially. We shall see in the reanalysis report, and then after the season's over, towards next winter into the spring. Storm surge poured in as Ida made landfall. Yeah, this was a fire station in Delacroix within a 1 hour time span. This truly, actually, let's play this video. I'm going to show you guys this before and after video. Here's before, after. Look at that, just completely flooded. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's before, another spot, after. Feet of storm surge water and flooding just completely flooded these areas. Before, after. You can see just devastating storm surge. It's just awful. Yep. My God. Truly hard to watch here. Wow. Yeah, this was 6+ feet of water. Some spots even got 10+ feet of storm surge in some areas there around where Ida made landfall. Before and after, yeah. My goodness. It is just terrifying. What else here? EMS service suspended in New Orleans. Yeah, the emergency management services were suspended in New Orleans because of how bad the situation was there. Storm surge hits parts of Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi as well. It was impacted by lots of devastating storm surge. You can see here this video. Yeah, multiple feet of storm surge flooding. Oh, here's some pictures as well of damage. Here's a house damage in a home in New Orleans is destroyed during Hurricane Ida yesterday on Sunday, August 29th. Here's actually another haunting, honestly, actually perfect word for this, haunting thing about Ida making landfall yesterday. That was the 16th anniversary yesterday of Hurricane Katrina hitting these exact same areas that Ida hit. So just truly devastating, something you do not want to see. Let's see, what else? Yeah, here we go. Portions of buildings ripped off, cars just destroyed, damage all along the roads. Oh man, this is just awful. Yeah, there's scaffolding off of roofs, peeled off, blown onto the roads. Again, same thing here. My God. Oh, here's a picture of waves, very high waves, being pushed up on shore with some guy taking photos of it. That's pretty idiotic, to say the least. Cars being flooded from the storm surge. My God, this is awful. I honestly wouldn't be lying to myself or to you guys to say that this definitely really reminds me a lot of some of the scenes from after Katrina in some of these same areas. Oh, here's a satellite imagery of Ida. This is Ida from the International Space Station by astronaut Thomas Pesquet hours before it made landfall. That's wow. My gosh, there's 77 photos here. So yeah, people on boats. Yeah, that's what you have to resort to like rescue people right out there. Yeah, just devastating. Look at this. Just truly devastating. My God. I mean, thankfully, I guess the one thing you can say is thankfully, like the storm surge amounts, especially the flooding and especially the New Orleans area and whatnot, they didn't get as high as, what Katrina's levels got to, obviously. That just record-breaking 28 to 30 feet of storm surge. Yeah, it's just awful during Katrina. Thankfully, it didn't get that high, but still high enough to cause lots of catastrophic failures and damages. Just awful here. My God. But yeah, again, windows being boarded up, not taped. Never tape your windows for a tropical system. That will just make it more dangerous. Again, heavy traffic. I-10, right, like a day before the storm hit, just standstill traffic. People evacuating because they couldn't issue mandatory evacuations due to the contraflow in time because they just didn't have enough time, as they said. It's just awful. Yeah, again, there's another picture of the traffic. Yeah, well, I guess we're retreading some of the same stuff. But again, as you saw, devastating images, videos, damages from Ida in Louisiana, Mississippi, those areas. This year's hurricane season definitely, especially now, has caused devastating amounts of damage. Fatalities, I'm sure, are going to go much, much higher after Ida. We've had 11 named storms, 4 hurricanes, 2 major hurricanes. I don't know why the total fatalities are down to 41. Should be 61, and the damage total should be rising a lot. Again, yeah, we will see. Damage right now is at $2.021 billion. That damage is going to go much higher because of Ida. I'm saying Ida has definitely caused at least $50 billion in damage from all the flooding and damage it caused. I definitely think that's a fair estimate as of right now. ACE value currently for the season is now at 42.5 units, so season's getting much more active according to that ACE, and it's definitely reflected. Grace, again, Ida is weakening. Now it's getting down to a very weak tropical storm, almost a tropical depression now. We now have Kate. Julian form became a pretty strong tropical storm, 60 miles per hour, 95 millibars. Kate is now active and is now at 40 miles per hour, 1,008 millibars maybe. I think maybe 1,003, 45 miles per hour, honestly, now. But we'll see. We'll have to check again. Let's reload this page real quick to see. Still hasn't come out. Interesting. I'm not sure what's going on there. But, yeah, again, we're continuing to see much more activity in the Atlantic and more activity as we continue to head into the peak of the season. We're now heading towards September. That's a peak month, a true peak month of the season. September 10th is a true peak day of the season. So, again, we're seeing that activity really ramp up as we get towards that time frame. Damage still unknown from Ida. Again, I think the damage, honestly, and true death toll from Ida is still going to be trying to be figured out months from now. So, yeah, it's truly crazy. Somewhat of a similar situation with what happened after Katrina, maybe to a bit of a less extent, especially, of course, the storm surge didn't get definitely as high as Katrina did, but again, still, some of the similar kinds of situations and images that we're seeing in those areas, even around New Orleans with some of those levees failing. So, again, yeah, it's just awful, truly awful with what's going on, yeah. So yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. It's I don't know, I guess. Again, really, honestly, at this point, I just want to say, comment down below. Let's have a discussion down there in the comments section about what you guys, what you guys experienced with the storm making landfall, and the damages you guys saw. Whether if you guys watching, some of you guys do live in those areas that were impacted by Ida, or like me, just watch the storm come in and devastate those areas, and the images and tweets and whatnot that were said by people being just totally, their lives being totally changed forever from the storm. Let's have a conversation down there in the comment section about it down below. Subscribe to my channel if you want, if you like this kind of content, if you want to get more updates like this. So yeah, again, hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. Like the video down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video to any degree. Probably honestly really didn't, just because of how just devastating the storm was, and that was the main topic of today's video. So but again, still very important information to give to you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and to any degree, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.